Welcome back to Breakfast Central. Now, this month is African Month, and the 25th day of May specifically is Africa Day, or was Africa Day. And we had the pleasure of having Dr. Kemi Ezenwani joining us here to discuss the theme for this year's Africa Day, which is strengthening resilience in nutrition and food security in Africa. Now, we had an extensive conversation on nutrition as well as malnutrition and the fact that malnutrition is a problem here in Africa. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the effects of malnutrition, potbelly. Potbelly isn't necessarily a sign of enjoyment, as we'll get to find out shortly. And today we're going to be joined by our guest, and we have Banke Claude-Wilcox joining us to talk about the dangers of potbelly. Good morning, Banke. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right, Banke, let's go straight into it. And in my intro, I did mention the fact that potbelly is not necessarily a sign of enjoyment, because here in Africa, we oftentimes have had conversations where people attribute potbelly to wealth, looking good, and taking care of yourself. Why is potbelly not a sign of enjoyment?
Because, first of all, we have to get away from that mindset that, this potbelly means a sign of good living. I'm wealthy now. I've arrived. Do you understand? And people interestingly, people respect you more when you come in with a potbelly. We need to get away from that mindset, because your potbelly is actually a sign of impending illness. Wow. You understand?
Yeah.
People with larger stomachs have, the tendency to, get diabetes, get high blood pressure, heart disease, even cancer. Do you understand? So a potbelly is actually the opposite. It's a sign of unhealthy living.
Okay, I want to understand, because this is disappointing, for a lot of guys now. They're just looking at themselves as, that was really, I remember there's a lot of, times when people have, these short stories of, how men like their bellies rubbed, and that's what makes them feel good, But I want to, understand, from the, how does this start? How does a man start to develop a pot belly? At what age is it likely to, to start to build? And what are the dietary, beginnings, of a pot belly?
From my experience as a nutritionist, as you know, I am. So I speak to when people come into the clinic, maybe they want to lose weight, they want to live healthier, or they already have disease and they're trying to look for ways to eat healthier, to get their health back. When I talk to them, what I find out is, let's say the average Nigerian in your 20s, you're still hustling, you're hustling, trying to get things together. By the time they're in their 30s, things are beginning to come together, some coins are beginning to flow in. So at this time, they're like, okay, I have the money to enjoy myself. I can eat what I want. I can drink what I want. I can travel where I want, that kind of thing. So we find that usually it's in the 30s that it actually starts. So and then they'd go out, of course, signs of good living, you hang out with the boys. And I'm not speaking only about men, women as well. Hang out with the boys, so you eat, you drink. So that's all those signs of, I've arrived now, usually starts in the 30s. And then we're also eating unhealthy things. So I've mentioned alcohol. We eat everything, all the things we could not eat before. We have a lot of processed food, a lot of eateries are around, especially the ones that came from other countries that are not necessarily that healthy. But it's cool to be associated with these places. It's like, I went there, I took my kids there, that kind of thing. These signs of good living, are actually going away from what our forefathers were eating. And of course, don't forget that we're no longer a sign of good living. You're not walking up and down anymore. Your driver is driving you around, you're in your car, you're in your AC, do you understand? So all these things, the inactivity, the unhealthy food, the late nights, all those things lead to a bigger belly and generally bad health.
Maybe you should give us the nutritional aspect as a nutritionist yourself. Okay. Why is it very easy for fat to accumulate in the stomach? We find that many people go to the gym and their major concern is, even for women, we hear things like, I don't want to lose weight in other parts of my body. The only problem is this, my tummy. I just want to let go of my tummy. But that's the quickest place to gain weight and the hardest place to lose weight. Why is this so? Maybe you can give us the nutritional standpoint.
It's the quickest way because, first of all, how do you put on weight? When you're when you're not burning as much as, when you're consuming more calories than you actually burn. That's how you actually put on weight, right? Most times, people working hard, we eat late at night. First of all, we eat big meals. If we are honest with ourselves, we actually eat a lot. We consume a lot more than we actually burn or actually need. And most times, we eat late. If you eat late at night, your food doesn't have it's not burned, and everything just accumulates, especially in your tummy. So if you you can be gymming from today till tomorrow. If those are your habits, you're going to actually put on weight. You're going to accumulate a lot of fat, especially around your stomach. And this fat in your stomach, called visceral fat, is the fat that actually leads to disease. And that's the fat everybody wants to avoid. But somehow that's the fat people are finding hard to get rid of because of our lifestyle, because of stress, because of how we eat, because we're not active, so many things. Even going to the gym, if you're not eating properly and you're stressed and you eat late, it's not going, your stomach fat will just be like a principality.
Okay. I want to, if you can just quickly share quick tips, maybe one or two to guide people who are in their 30s, like I am, to avoid, of course, getting into a situation where, tummy is now a problem.
Okay. So you have arrived. Fantastic. There are other ways.
Been here for a while, actually.
That's even better, But there are other ways to show that you have arrived than by what you eat. Do you understand? There are other ways to show. So first of all, think of other ways. It doesn't have to be your food. In fact, healthy living is another sign of being of arriving, because it shows enlightenment.
Yes.
Actually, it shows enlightenment. Eating unhealthily is it's not trendy anymore, actually, if you think about it, because it's not healthy. Even when you arrive, you want to live long to enjoy your money, don't you? Right?
Absolutely.
So it doesn't even make sense to eat unhealthily. You're shortening your lifespan. This is what I see every day. A lot of young guys come in. I have guys who come in, they're 35. They've had 2 strokes at 35. And it's just your lifestyle. Do you understand? And of course, maybe family propensity for you to have whether stroke or any high blood pressure in your family. Do you understand? So little tips you can do. You've been exercising, fantastic. How do you want your exercise to show? Cut down on your portions. We love a lot of, so I'll just give you some other tips. We love a lot of fruit juice. So a lot of people think, if I take juice, it's better than taking, sodas and things like that. Not really, unless they're actual natural fruits that you blend at home. But if you buy the packaged one, it still has as much sugar as your sodas. So you're not doing well. as a lot of people, I had juice, I'm doing well now. No, you're not actually. So that's a quick tip. So like I said, work out. At least, even if you can't go to the gym, get up from your desk, move around. Do you understand? Instead of sending that email, walk up the stairs to your colleague, instead of just sitting at your desk all the time. Other tips. Watch the people you are with. If your crew is the unhealthy eating crew, try your best. Try your best to, move away from that, or enlighten them and say, guys, I want to eat healthily now. And most of the time you get a lot of flack. What is it? You're already slim now. What are you eating like that for? No, tell them, look, guys, I want to live long. And you know what? When you start, even if they make fun of you, with time they will join.
Very true.
They will join, because everybody has that thing in your conscience that, and you see somebody, you actually feel guilty.
Yeah, I think I need to dissociate myself from someone who's obsessed with banga soup and starch. And the person is on this search with me right now. So, they say evil communication corrupts good manners. Let's talk about obesity in children, because we see situations where there are lots of children. It's Children's Day, and we see some children who are overweight. And here in Africa, we also tend to allude being overweight in children to good living. How can, let's talk about the health implications of this first, and how this can be curbed.
First of all, we have to change our mindset. Okay? The mindset change is the most important part. Sorry, I'm answering your second question first. We have to change our mindset. Our mindset is, when you even have, I don't know if anybody has had children or had babies here. If the baby is not big and fat and bursting, it's like the ones that you are not feeding this child. Feed this child. Do you understand? No, but it's true. It's true. That's just so. It starts from when we're even young. So you're feeding these children, pumping them with food. Finish your food, and you're giving the children huge amounts of food. So you must finish that food. If you don't finish that food, you'll be in trouble. Those kinds of things stick with you. It sticks with you. So the children, and then of course we have video games. Children are not as active. When we were kids, we used to climb trees, we used to go up and down. You know how it is. Your parents leave you, go to your neighbor's house.
Very
These
true.
days, we're scared. Your children are at home playing video games and eating pizza and popcorn and chips and etc. Do you understand? So that lifestyle is not going to help. And we parents think, we're doing well for our kids. We're giving them those things we didn't have. We're good parents, But no, actually you're not. You're actually killing your children slowly. And a lot of children are getting those diseases that usually your parents would be getting, but teenagers are getting them. People in their 20s are getting them. High blood pressure, diabetes, even teenagers are getting things like this, And it's just the lifestyle. It's preventable. So we need to change our minds and start from when they're small.
Okay, now is there any hope in the case where someone is watching this, they already have overweight children? What can be done?
Let them be more active. Put their phones, if you are buying phones for your kids, regulate the time. Don't let them just be on their phones, on their video games all the time. Maybe let them do their chores. And then as a gift, say on the weekend, you can have your video games for 1 hour or 2 hours. Do you understand? Just make it fun. Let being active be fun. Do you understand? You don't have to necessarily go outside to be active. Children, they're children. They love to play. But a lot of things are changing now. It's almost as if sitting in one place is more fun. We have to make being active more fun. And we as parents, we have to take a more active part. I know we're busy. I know we're stressed. But really, I think it starts from us. We have to encourage our kids. Because when you don't have time for them, they're on video games all the time.
I just want, one final question from me. What advice would you give to, men in their 30s who, well, to me, actually, once I have one meal, I'm done for the day. My stomach seems to lock up right after the first meal of the day. And the first meal of the day could be like sometime around noon. That's all for the rest of the day. And I feel bad.
You're slowing down your metabolism. You need to eat more regularly. And you need to know what to eat. You need to eat the right things. You need to see me, actually. But you need to eat more regularly and eat the right things. Eating one meal a day is not actually the answer.
I thought that was a good thing.
I mean, it's not intentional. It's just, I don't feel any hunger for the rest of the day.
Also depends on that meal. What are you eating? It depends.
Starch and banga, rice, beans, boiled eggs.
How will you be hungry?
That is not true. That is absolutely
How will
not
you be
true.
hungry?
I eat healthy.
You've had the whole meals day in one sitting.
Honestly, some of us wish that was our issue, that we could just eat once and move on. But anyway, let's move on from there to, I think this will be my final question as well. Okay. Let's talk about some of the myths surrounding weight loss, especially as regards tummy loss. We're seeing a trend on social media where lots of people are buying tea bags and, people are investing so much in waist trainers and all these other things.
And liposuction.
Exactly. So let's talk about the benefits or lack thereof of these things. Let's start with number one, tea bags, weight loss tea bags.
That's slimming teas.
Slimming teas,
oh
exactly.
Gosh, that's my pet peeve. They're just laxatives, that's all. They're just laxatives. Because people come and tell me, Banke, I've been trying. I've been on these slimming teas. They're not working. They're not even meant for weight loss. They're laxatives. That's all. And it's not even healthy to be taking laxatives every day. Your doctor will not tell you take laxatives for the rest of your life. He's not going to tell you take it every day. It's usually for a certain period and for a reason, not to lose weight. You're not even losing weight. All you're doing is passing feces. That's it.
Okay. And one more before we go. Waist trainers?
Waist trainers, if you're actually eating right, already doing the right thing, so you're eating right, you're exercising, your waist trainer can actually help in a way, but you can't say I'm eating everything, I'm not eating healthy, I'm not exercising, I'm not sleeping well, I'm stressed, and I'm wearing my waist trainer and I'm going to be Kim Kardashian tomorrow. No, it's not going to happen.
All right. It's been a very interesting conversation, and I know that you and I probably have to have a little bit more to help me out in this 30s era. But thank you so much, Banke Wilcox, for joining us, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Yes, likewise. Thank you all for having me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We've had a really good run, and of course, once Olive mentioned waist trainers, I couldn't get the picture of former governor of Lagos State. If you remember, there's a particular picture where he, all right.
I was not involved.
He was wearing a waist trainer. He
was wearing, and you know this because you were the one that helped him put it on, or what? Nigerians are rude.
All right.